average here in the United States about the refugees. And right now, I'm going to just go over some cases of rape and sexual assault that we have experienced right here in the United States by refugees that we already brought in America. I'm not talking terrorism, I'm talking sexual rape and assault. Lowell, Massachusetts, a 13-year-old girl was twice groped at a public pool by a 22-year-old man freshly imported into the community from Syria as a refugee. Twin Falls, Idaho, a 5-year-old girl was raped by 3 Iraqi and Sudanese boys who were imported less than 2 years prior. Leesburg, Virginia, a West African refugee attempted to rape a college female by the dumpster at her college complex. Roanoke, Virginia, 4 refugees were indicted for plotting to kidnap and hold local rich women for ransom. Utah, a Burmese Muslim in the United States for 1 month brutally murdered a 7-year-old Christian girl. El Cajon, California, a Muslim man performed an honor killing on his wife and blamed it on Islamophobia. Mapleton, North Dakota, a Somali refugee beat and raped a North Dakota woman while chanting Allahu Akbar. This is the type of difference of values. This is the pattern of disrespect that these refugees are showing to our women and children in our society. This is their detesting our Western values and everything we hold dear. And here I'm going to use an example about the Burmese we are importing to our country. Now, a lot of people are thinking Syrian refugees. A lot of people are not paying attention to the Burmese, for example. But I'm going to talk about the Burmese refugees, not Syrians, to show you the difference between the value and the cultural system of these refugees that they are coming from. I mentioned the case in Salt Lake City where the Muslim Burmese brutally raped and killed a 70-year-old girl. The examiner said she died in excruciating pain because of the rape. Shame on the mainstream media who never uttered a word about it, only in Utah. And the reason why I bring this Burmese example is because last week, a Burmese refugee in Australia was sentenced to jail for viciously raping a 10-year-old little boy. The convicted Muslim man said it was culturally acceptable in his society to rape children where he came from in Burma. They do not look at it as rape, and we see this pattern in using children all over the Middle East, all over Islamic societies. I only have 15 minutes left. Oh my gosh. Okay, they gave me the time. As a matter of fact, the reason why I use the example about Australia is because we see this pattern of using children for sexual pleasure all across the Islamic world worldwide. Child marriages, child rape, child prostitution, especially the sexual abuse of little girls. These perpetrators, when they are confronted, they say, well, it is not rape. It is sanctioned in my culture and in my religion. So where does this belief come from? Prophet Muhammad, whom Muslims consider the perfect man, al-insan al-kamil in Arabic. And they all want to emulate. Prophet Muhammad married a girl at the age of 6 and consummated the marriage at the age of 9. Having sex with 9-year-olds is not considered sin or rape or anything bad in Islamic religion or culture. This is why we see this rising all over the Middle East, and now it is rising all over the United States and Western nations where these Muslims immigrate. We have now imported and seeded over 15,000 Burmese in the United States throughout America in the last 10 years. You do not know what is lurking in your city, in your community, and what's happening and who's walking down the street or living near you. Child brides are rising all over the West due to Islamic refugees and migration. Countries reporting child brides are Germany, 100 cases this year alone, and only in the city of Berlin. Switzerland, 119 cases have now been reported. That's a little over 1 every 3 days, and nearly 22% involved girls under 16 years old. In the UK, there are reportedly 100,000 marriages that are unrecognized under UK law, and the women in them have no rights. They are known as Sharia marriages, of which 2/3 were polygamous. Canada, Netherlands, Denmark, and Australia are reporting the same thing. This is what the West is importing to its midst. This is a value system that is completely opposed and different than anything we stand for and hold dear. Refugee cities have also become hubs for foreign illnesses. They are bringing with them illnesses that we have already eradicated in the United States, such as tuberculosis, for example. Active tuberculosis right now is exploding. Colorado has 16 cases. I know I have close friends in Colorado in this room. Ohio, 11 cases. Vermont, 35 cases. Wisconsin, 117 cases. Florida, 11 cases. Idaho, 7. Indiana, 4. Kentucky, 9. And North Dakota, 4. And by the way, the majority of these cases are drug resistant, which means this is active tuberculosis that is resistant to drugs. It cost us, the taxpayers, you and me, $150,000 to treat one patient, and it takes 6 to 8 months while they are walking around and spreading the disease. Refugee resettlements is not about humanitarianism, but it's about supplying cheap labor to industries looking to boost their bottom line, to drive that's what's driving most refugees coming to the United States. It's the food processing plant, meat packing, manufacturing, and the hotel industry that have discovered that you can enjoy the cheap labor at the expense of the US taxpayer and at the expense of the cultural and societal upheaval communities are experiencing right now all throughout America. Now, most refugees are on welfare of some sort, which makes anyone who employs them, and listen to me carefully here, eligible for federal work opportunity tax credit. An employer has greater incentive to hire a refugee than to hire an American who is struggling, but doesn't want to be on welfare, including food stamps, because there's a lot of Americans who still have the integrity to say, no, I'm going to work, I'm not going to collect welfare, I'm going to go find a job, and I'm going to do it on my own, even if I have to go work in construction. A refugee's salary is subsidized by the US taxpayer, while an average American's job isn't. So it is not that Americans do not want to do the work. There's a lot of Americans who want to do the work. They don't care. They are starving. They want to contribute. They want to do something. They want to attain the American dream. They want to go after the American dream. They don't care if they work 2 shifts or 3 shifts in order for them to make money. But employers in these cheap, like Chobani yogurt, next time you buy Chobani yogurts, I want you to remember that Chobani yogurt is one of the largest employers of these refugees and driver. So next time Chobani yogurt hires a refugee is because they are getting the work opportunity tax credit. So the government, our tax dollars, is paying the salary of that refugee while the federal government does not pay the salary of an American. So that's why organizations and companies like Chobani are hiring, and they are the drivers behind these refugees. Not because Americans cannot find work or they do not want to work. It is because the refugees are taking their jobs away from them.